Hey, One Piece fans, this is Chris Boltz, and I'm coming in with an article from Game Rant that posits an interesting facet here. Does Eiichiro Oda need to end One Piece soon? But before I do get into the content, do make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out. Now, this article is coming courtesy of Suzail Ahmad, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name right. Title of it is Eiichiro Oda needs to end One Piece soon, and here's why. Now, in the quick link section, he does give a couple of bullet points here. Eiichiro Oda's physical health is not in the best shape, and Eiichiro Oda needs to end One Piece for his own sake. That's kind of redundant there, because obviously Eiichiro Oda is on the older side. I think he's in his 60s. I want to say he's about, 61, 62. Let's be, no, he's 50. So he's actually quite a young man. He's the same age as me. So wait a minute. He's only 50 years old. So the age can't be a factor here or anything like that. But he does bring up Eiichiro Oda's physical health. And he says right here that he has a poor sleep schedule. He sleeps from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., which is 3 hours worth of sleep. It is advised to get at least 7 hours of sleep, so Oda is well below the optimal limit. But here's the thing about very busy people who like to optimize the majority of their time. They don't get a lot of sleep. If you look at some of the big performers around the world, we'll talk about President Trump, who famously, man, I tell you, I think he went during the campaign, he went about 3 days without sleep. And then you got Elon Musk, and you got a variety of really big performers out there. Celebrities, actors, people who really like to maximize the amount of time, because you only get 24 hours in a day. They don't get that much sleep, even though it is recommended that you do get the recommended amount of sleep. He says it's 7 hours, but most of the time it's 8 hours. Most of those people are going to be spending their time working throughout the day. And we know Eiichiro Oda has a lot of projects going on. He's very active in the live action Netflix One Piece. And he's very active in the main anime right here, One Piece as well. And I'm pretty sure he's probably advising a lot of other up and coming mangaka. He's doing a lot of interviews. He's a person that works a whole lot. So I wouldn't sit there and say that him not getting the sleep is harming him that much, especially at 50 years of age. I thought he was more, older than that. And I thought when he was talking about poor health, the author was probably talking about that he has some type of malady or affliction that's really hurting him. And so far right now, it doesn't say anything about that. It's just about the fact that he doesn't get enough rest and that he works every day of the week. Again, if you are a optimal person and you want to maximize the amount of time to work, you're going to be working every day of the week and you're not going to be getting that much sleep. I wish I had that kind of work schedule and that kind of work ethic. That's a really good work ethic, if you ask me. He then goes on to say that Eiichiro Oda needs to end One Piece for his own sake. So let's go down here and see what he says right here. He has been working for decades on One Piece and he has earned a lengthy rest. However, he's still reluctant to do so because he doesn't want to disappoint the fans. Imagine that. A customer service representative does not want to disappoint his customers. He wants to continue bringing all the good things to his fans, and he wants to make sure that his fans are happy. Although when it comes to the anime, they do take a lot of hiatuses and they do take a lot of breaks and they do a lot of filler episodes to spread the stuff out. If it's not impacting him that much or anything like that, I don't see it as a problem or anything. In fact, I think it's a really good work ethic once again to go out there and put out the type of content that makes people happy. Hey, there's got to be a little bit of push and shove here. And like I said earlier, this is more of a repeat of the first one here. Eiichiro Oda's physical health is not in the best shape. If Eiichiro Oda feels like he is still up to doing the work and he's up to providing that content at a steady pace, then let's not worry about that. He tries to compare it to the mangaka for Hunter x Hunter, Yoshihiro Togashi. Everybody knows that for years, Togashi-san suffers from a sickness and an affliction, unlike Eiichiro Oda. And we also know that the greatest mangaka of our time, Akira Toriyama-san, may he rest in peace, kept on working on One Piece well into his 60s. And he definitely was 60s. And unfortunately, he passed away because he slipped and fell. Other than that, he was working really well. I know that other mangaka have passed away. The mangaka for Berserk, Kentaro Miura, he passed away at an early age. He wasn't able to finish Berserk in a timely fashion. He took a long time. If I were to make this argument, I would probably have used him over Togashi-san, because we don't know if or when any type of health issues might arise. That would be the ultimate reason why Eiichiro Oda-san needs to end One Piece as quickly as possible, because, hey, we don't know when our time comes. At the same time, he wants to go in there and tell his story in the way it needs to be told. And I think Eiichiro Oda did come out and say that there definitely is going to be an end to it, and we are in the end phase for One Piece. Obviously, we're starting right now, at least for the anime, we're at Egghead Island. I think in the manga itself, they are actually going in there and talking about the history of Rocks D. Zebek and part of the Void Century. Definitely getting to the end, but I don't think it needs to end because Eiichiro Oda is not getting enough sleep or because he needs a rest. He wants to work, and in fact, if he wants to get this story told as quickly as possible, or if he wants to get it finished up within a reasonable time frame, he needs to go in there and do the work. He needs to put in as many hours into One Piece without as many breaks as he possibly can. So I don't think Suzail Akma made the argument that he thinks he made. In fact, I think he kind of went in the opposite direction and made an argument as to why Eiichiro Oda needs to keep working on One Piece until he finishes the story. And we do have some people down here. Someone does say that nothing is more important than Oda's health. Yeah, all of our health is important. But for us One Piece fans, the thing that is the most important is finishing this story and getting it out, so us fans can finally see the end of One Piece. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think about Suzail Ahmad's argument about Eiichiro Oda needing to end One Piece soon because of his lack of getting sleep and not taking breaks? Jump down in the comments and let me know what you think. And once again, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolt signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You take it easy.